Welcome back to Ultra Uncovered, a new series here around some of the interesting brands within the sport of trail running. Alex King. Alex is the founder of Terignota, founded in November of 2024. So it's a couple years old now. And Terignota's tagline is on a mission to make trail running accessible to all. So we will dig into what's behind that and kind of the philosophy and all of that. But we're excited to get to know you a little bit more, Alex, as a founder, operator, lover of the sport, athlete in it and everything. I think the first time I ever heard of Terignota probably was a mention on the SWAT podcast.
Yeah.
I know firsthand how beneficial mentions on the SWAT podcast can be for
Yes, of
companies.
course.
Movement. David says follow somebody, and you're like, "Oh, okay, everybody listened." So that's awesome. But yeah, I think maybe before we dig into kind of telling a little bit about, just the origin story of the brand and where it is today, I'd love to just get your thoughts on kind of like the state of the sport currently. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on with both commercialism, that word professionalism within the sport, more money coming in. We're seeing brands kind of ebb and flow with their investment. I don't know, how do you feel about the sport of trail running right now?
That's a big question to start with, and I'll do my best to answer. I mean, overall, I feel like trail running is in a good spot generally. The thing that question brings up for me is like I was just watching the Paris bike race that's happened recently last week. And I was watching with my girlfriend, and she was like, "I'm kind of bored of watching this because like we don't know the stories. Like there's much less commentary on like the people and the personalities of bike racing, and it's like purely performance oriented. And like if you don't know, if you're not like super deep into it in the background of it, it's like they're just like machines on their bike. Whereas like
Mhm.
when you watch trail running, it's even though the sport is becoming much more commercialized, it's still story oriented or like people oriented, I think,
Mhm.
which was just like a cool realization of, man, this like super high dollar sport of world tour bike racing is like almost less interesting to watch than like a well produced yet lower budget sport of trail running where you're watching a race for 6 hours or something. But it feels like there's still more stories and like soul behind the sport. That being said,
Mhm.
I do think that it's getting super, or like just a fact of the matter is that it's getting very commercialized and like a huge amount of money is being poured into it. And I don't know if that's like a good thing or bad thing yet to be,
Yeah.
to be determined. But I hope it doesn't, I hope the money and the commercialization of it and like, big brands pouring all the resources behind it doesn't overtake the soul and the story of the sport. And like,
Mhm.
yeah. So,
Yeah. No. I could. That makes sense. I can appreciate all of that. We lost Russell. He'll be back. I'm sure he's doing the spring break thing, so he'll be back on
yeah,
here in a
got
second.
it.
I'm sure you have some amazing questions. But let's okay. I have questions on that, but let's tell the audience just a little bit about what Terragnota focuses on from a standpoint, and then kind of how you are, what makes you different within the space.
Sorry, what Terignota focuses on from a what standpoint?
Products, like your
Uh,
core product.
yeah. Yeah. So initially we launched with shorts, shirt, hat, and socks. I wanted to start with like the core kit of running, or at least running apparel. So yeah, we launched. Are you guys getting like a very weird noise on your headphones?
Yeah, I think that's the rest.
Sounds like
You
a
mute
jet
yourself?
engine or something.
Let me check mine.
Yeah. Maybe just mute for a sec, see if he's checking. All right, go ahead, Alex.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we launched with shorts, shirt, hat, socks. So I wanted to I wanted to launch with like, core trail running apparel kit, like the necessities. And like a core tenet of Terignota is we make one shirt and one shorts and yeah, just like we don't have like 6 technical running shirts that people aren't really sure why they would buy one versus the other, and they don't necessarily have any benefit over each other. Just I mean, 1, we don't need to. We're not and 2, it like having so many models increased costs, but beyond that, since then we've released a running jacket, like a windbreaker jacket, a fleece hoodie, and a running vest that we're yeah, really psyched on. Can't remember if I'm forgetting anything. Yeah, so we launched with like core products and the goal is like performance, simplicity, and affordability. We're not trying to add technical features that are just there for to have like a marketing tagline, and we're just adding features that you need that work that make a piece of apparel that works. And like if we don't need a whatever the saying is, remake the wheel, we're not going to. We're just going to bring a performance piece of apparel that works.
Yeah, and I think you're kinda uniquely positioned you were uniquely positioned maybe to start this, and I heard that, Ryan from other podcasts you've been on, that Ryan Thrower was a big impetus in, like, pushing you over the line to get it going, which is really cool and very, you know, very trail I
Yeah,
don't know, that's the ethos, right? But you're kinda uniquely positioned in that you'd worked for a company that you kinda had some of these sourcing relationships, right, too? So, talk a little bit about, like, that, and I think one question along this is, right now you're direct to consumer and I mean, you don't have a brick and mortar, again, maybe in the intention to keep the cost low to the consumer, but you really wanted to bring like high performance running apparel to the masses in order to make it, something that is accessible and so people could experience the sport like at the highest level without having to pay a ton of money to participate in experiencing that comfort level, right? So talk a little bit about kind of that sourcing, like how you went about choosing which groups you would be working with from a sourcing standpoint and manufacturing and like kind of just how that evolved.
yeah. So I worked for Nash Kiteboarding a few years after graduating college, and as a product developer designer for them.
Hmm.
And part of that process was spent in part of that process, I spent a lot of time overseas in China and Taiwan and parts of Europe getting our products made there and getting new products into production, like overseeing that. And it was a very cool experience for me, and I learned a ton from it. And it was definitely like a key factor in me starting Terignota. Like it was a bit of seeing behind the curtain in one way, and also just like appreciating the manufacturing expertise that you can find around the world. So a bit of behind the curtain for me because I would see like we would sell a product for like $400 and then I would see how much we paid for it. So it was like whatever $30 or something and that we paid for it. And by the time it passed through all the hands that needed to make money on it and yeah, just all the markups that needed to happen to it, it would somehow end up at the consumer at a ridiculously high price. And like when I was designing it, I would be like, like this screw adds like 3 cents, whatever, not a big deal. But like adding a few cents on the design side would add like many dollars by the time it got to the consumer. And so it's just like, yeah, it was just crazy to see how much things, well, I mean, this was kiteboarding specifically, but things in the outdoor industry cost versus like how much they were actually made for. I mean, that goes beyond just outdoor industry, but um, yeah, so that was part of it. I didn't actually use any of uh, like none of the suppliers I was working with for Nash kiteboarding. None of those translated over to Terignota. We were making kites and like boards and bars and um, yeah, none of them translated over. But I like learned how the sourcing process that I went through at Nash was this the same for what I went through with Terignota. I learned how to communicate with them. I learned like what to look for in a supplier, and really like starting is something. It's like it's very easy to start. Like anybody can just. I just went on Alibaba.com. Anybody can go on there and look for look for suppliers. Like it's like an Amazon. It's like an Amazon, except instead of products, you contact suppliers. So yeah, I just went on there and like reached out to a bunch of different suppliers and got samples of stuff they were already making, and like evaluated those samples, evaluated their communication skills, and like went down the path of developing products with a few of them. And then you very quickly learn like who can actually make a good product, and who can who's easier to communicate changes and modifications with. Yeah, so like went down that path and then narrowed it down to one. Or yeah, and that's how like the sourcing and stuff was started.
Sorry, I've had a few connection issues, but Alex,
Yeah.
I view you as a huge. You have a huge differentiation with your brand. Do you view yourself as a disruptor in the trail space? And do you anticipate, or have you already received maybe negative commentary from other peers, other producers or suppliers of apparel in the space?
uh, do I view myself as a disruptor? I mean, I don't view myself that way. I think like other other people might, or like other people might like see what Terignota is doing and be like, oh, they're just like undercutting everybody, and I don't know, whatever. Like I think I might be seen as that, but I don't view myself as a disruptor so much. I just like making stuff, and I like getting stuff made. I like designing stuff. I like running, and like it's not so like there's not so many like deep thoughts that go into it for me. I just like doing it, and I like making good products. And yeah, it's just like a super fun experiment, really. Like when I started Terragnota, I didn't have any grand visions or dreams of making a huge company. I just wanted to see if I could make a pair of shorts or socks or whatever, and see if people would like them. So yeah, I don't really see myself as a disruptor. I just see myself as some dude sitting in his office trying to make good product. As far as have I gotten negative feedback from other companies or other brands, it's actually kind of the opposite. I like know a lot of people in the industry, and like yeah, I haven't gotten like, whatever, the CEO of whoever hasn't reached out to me and been like, yo, you're doing something cool. But that hasn't happened. But I know, yeah, I know lots of people in working for or with brands, and I've gotten like really nice messages and notes from them being like, dude, what you're doing is like pretty cool, and it's like you're doing the right thing, and you're doing apparel right or whatever. And I'm not gonna name people's names here, but it's just been like really, yeah, it's like really validating to get messages from people who are like in like design roles or whatever at like quote unquote real companies, being like, what you're doing is pretty cool, and just supportive. So I haven't actually gotten any negative feedback from like brands. And I mean, I'm sure that most brands don't know anything about Terragnota yet, but yeah.
They might not, but eventually they might be like, dang, Alex, you're killing us with these like, shorts, or you're just beating us up over this. I'm a trail runner that's always out looking for a good deal. And so when I see a brand like Terignota that's actually like quality stuff, it's just like flabbergasting to see it, and to see it at the prices that you're able to provide. You're really, taking that value chain, and instead of like trying to absorb as much value as you can for yourself or for your brand or for the people that are around it, you are really sharing that value chain with the end user. And that is completely uncommon in this world today.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate that. Yeah. I mean, I think such a huge part of it is I just like see how, or saw how many, yeah, folks take, or not, maybe not take, but need to make money off of a product without like adding actual value to said product. Yeah. Like the product is made, designed, made, and then it goes through so many people's hands that, yeah, have to make a margin on it. And I mean, I don't want to like bash on anybody's business, but um, the value of the product is what it is right when it comes out of the factory. And yeah, do all this does all this extra fluff that's added on to the product that tries to sell more of the product or goes through more distributors. Like it doesn't the product doesn't get any better when it goes through those processes.
Mhm. So you said that you're kind of just like just one guy sitting there wanting to make products and it's not that deep, but I feel like there is this deep kind of, I don't know, I feel like there's this philosophical kind of nature to what you're doing and a lot of intentionality around it. So I wanted to dig in a little bit more to that. And this is something that I noticed on your website currently, you've got a video that's kind of a little bit of a promotional, but it's not really promotional. It's just kind of, I believe it's Sarah, right? Alvin
Yeah.
running and she's telling a story about how she views herself. I think it's called Mirage in the Mirror. So everyone should go check that out. It's really beautiful. Is it Bon Iver that's behind that, the music?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Bon Iver. Okay. I thought it was, but talk a little bit about like, because you seem to be somebody who's like, if I'm going to put something on a website or on my Instagram or something, it's just like with the product, it needs to serve a purpose and there's some intentionality behind it. So maybe tell us a little bit about the inspiration for that. Like, did Sarah write this and what is the purpose of connecting it to the brand?
I mean, I think what you said about if I'm going to put something on the internet or on my website or on social media or whatever, I feel like it needs to have some sort of additional value to it. Is like very true in what I something I've thought a lot about. So yeah, I don't I don't. There are plenty of brands who post just like a beautiful image of somebody running, and like actually recently when this is a little bit off topic, but I'll get back to your question eventually. I recently went and did a photo shoot with my friend Jules, who we were shooting for Ultra. We were shooting some shoe that yeah, I don't know, some Ultra shoe. And fortunately, I was able to wear Terignota apparel because they don't make apparel. But anyway, besides the point, she she was like, we were talking about doing just like a photo shoot just for Terignota stuff so I could like have some content to put on the site. And we were talking about, and I was like, I don't really know why. What would I use these beautiful images for? Like, so I can just like put beautiful images of people running on the internet. Like, there are plenty of them. We don't need any more. Yeah. Like, what do people get out of like scrolling through Instagram and just seeing like some random person in a beautiful spot running? Like, I don't really know if there's any value in that. I did kind of come around on the fact that like I actually just really enjoyed going and like I just got to like go spend a day with my friend Jules and I don't know, run around some place that I wouldn't otherwise run around and um yeah, like make art, and like that in itself is enough of a reason to go do these things. Um I still don't really know if it's enough of a reason to like put it on the internet and like yeah, have it take up people's attention. But uh, so that's yeah, one thing about like I I just I want to if I'm gonna put something online or put something on social media, I want it to like just there to be like an additional value to it. And then going back to the Mirage in the Mirror Sarah video, I went to Palm Springs a couple years ago on a running trip with Sarah, and yeah, we were just like running around beautiful landscapes and I don't know, I had just gotten this video camera thing and I just like wanted to experiment and play and be creative and yeah, make art, I guess. So I just took like a bunch of clips of her in cool places. And then knowing knowing Sarah, I like know her or know somewhat of her relationship to running and like what it has meant to her. And so then after the fact, I like had her write the voiceover thing and put it all together. And I don't know. I just like I would love to do more of that stuff. It's like a very fun, creative project for me. To like, yeah, it's like just making art, and it seems like making art that like has a little bit more value than just like a. If it was just like a beautiful image of Sarah running on a ridge or something, there's like a little bit more meaning, and maybe it'll resonate a little more with people. So yeah, I mean, there wasn't any. Again, there wasn't any like big grand vision behind the video. I just like wanted to make it, and I like thought it was one. It was like super fun for me to make, but it was also, yeah, I thought it might resonate with people.
Yeah. It's really cool. I think it was really powerful, and yeah, the message. I mean, yeah, obviously, like I am a big proponent of women in ultra running, and so it's it's awesome to see her featured as a female, and it was beautiful. But I think yeah, is pretty powerful. So I guess this theme I'm getting is that like seems like your really kind of north star or main goal is just to bring value and add value, like in whatever facet of Terignota that is, whether it's the product or the website or the whatever else. So that's really cool.
Yeah, I think that's, I mean, that's not necessarily something I've like put my thumb on before, but I think that's like a good, yeah, like it checks out. That lines up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remind me how quickly you had women's apparel, 'cause you started out right away with, men's short and just like, "Hey, I know what I want. I know what I need. This is it." How quickly did you was that like, something that was important to you to make sure that like, "Hey, as quickly as I can, I wanna have women's apparel as well, and then I want to fill out this lineup of a basic kit and kind of head to toe, like have this basic kit." And I love the infographic of like, hey, look what you can get for around 200 bucks. Oh wait, no, it's the whole kit. It's
Yeah.
everything. It's everything from head to toe that you need, minus shoes. And that's a great piece. So talk a little bit about like the introduction of women kit and like maybe some challenges you had there.
Yeah, I actually had women's stuff right off the bat. I had
Oh, you did?
women's,
Okay.
yeah, I had
There
women's
you go.
shorts and shirts right off the bat. And yeah, Sarah was super helpful in, yeah, she was like the person who I would give samples to, and she would tell me how bad or good or whatever they are initially. And like obviously like I'm a guy, so I like it's much easier for me to tell if these shorts are good or not on the men's side of the apparel line. So yeah, off the bat, there was like a lot of struggling with women's fit and sizing, which I think that's just, I mean, there was struggling with men's fit and sizing too, but uh, yeah, a lot of issues with women's fit and sizing specifically, um, like totally just because of my ignorance of how to tolerance clothes and how to make, yeah, how to fit clothes and just, yeah, totally my fault on that. Like, but the first batches of women's clothes we got were super duper small or ran really, really small. And we did get some less than nice messages about that. But uh, part of it was like the sizing, like, yeah, I didn't know what tolerances for apparel were, and apparently they're huge. So like the sizing charts we would submit to the factories, we would get back something that was like completely different. But I don't think I even put tolerances on the first batch of size charts that I gave to the manufacturers, which, yeah, anyway, so there was just like a big struggle with sizing, and something I think we will always probably struggle with, just because it's really hard to make clothes that fit everybody. Yeah, even men too. Obviously, everybody just has like such a different shaped body and proportions and whatever, that it's just hard to make clothes that fit everybody. And I mean, that's just has to be okay.
And so you forgive my ignorance here just a tiny bit, but when you say tolerances, are you saying is this like percentage tolerances on dimensional information on the material itself? Is it like plus or minus a percentage? Is it plus or minus a number of millimeters? Like what are we talking about with tolerance? Because it's like, yeah, I think of shoes and it's like you look at a shoe all the way from, say a size 7.5 to a size, 12 or something like that. And it's like from a distance, the actual shoe isn't all that much different, but it makes a big difference, half sizes. And it's like probably small differences in
Yeah,
material all the way through. So
yeah. I think a
talk
shoe's
about
a. I think
you
a shoe's
actually
a.
talking about when you're specifying that.
Yeah, I think a shoe's a little different because the midsole is a molded component, and so yeah, molds are like just generally more accurate. But again, with foam on a midsole shoe, it like there still is errors. Uh, with apparel, the like a tolerance is like I'll give them like a chest dimension, or a sleeve length, or a yeah, any like a torso length or any dimension. I'll give them a like whatever a torso length of 70 centimeters for a men's medium shirt or something like that, and on that dimension it'll be like plus or minus 1 centimeter. Um,
Okay.
So the shirts they send, theoretically that theoretically they have checked. We after the big after like many sizing problems, uh, we like put in place where they check every single shirt now. So theoretically, every shirt will be 69 to 71 centimeters torso length of a men's medium. But yeah, so that's tolerances and like the first size charts that I gave the manufacturers, like they didn't even have tolerances on them. I don't think because I just didn't think about it. And yeah, so when they sent them back, I had no like recourse to be like, hey, these are wrong because there was nothing that specified what right was.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah, I mean, 70 plus or minus a centimeter, it's like 1.5%. So that's like that's probably pretty good, I would think.
yeah, and
You
like
know,
a
is it
normal
cheaper if you specify larger tolerances?
I mean, most places just like won't go lower because they know
Gotcha.
they're just
They
not
have a
gonna.
range that they do on that kind of apparel, and
Yeah,
you
and
don't
like
use
for stretchy apparel, it becomes harder to achieve smaller tolerances because when like I mean, it's kind of crazy how manual apparel making is still. Like each
Mhm.
it's all just people and hands holding these pieces of fabric together, like stitching them, and like when you're stitching a piece of fabric together, if you hold it a little too taut, it's going to be a different
Mhm.
dimension than if you hold it less taut, or if you like move your seam allowance in whatever amount. Like it's actually kind of crazy that they can achieve even a plus or minus centimeter tolerance, like with the amount of different hands and people and whatever that these things go through. And like a batch of shirts are made by a bunch of different people, and each person has a different method of sewing. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway.
Huh. That makes me think about AI and robotics and all kinds of other stuff that we
Yeah,
won't
yeah.
even right now for the future of the manufacturing, etcetera. No, that's pretty that thanks for asking that question, Russ. I didn't know what a tolerance was either, and I've heard you say that on other podcasts, so this is the lingo that you're learning here. So, I guess I'll shift a little bit to another kind of, I guess, philosophical kind of question, big question, couple of them. One is, do you have other brands that inspire you outside of running? So you're currently the designer and, you do everything. So your
Yeah.
design concept, like whatever. So are there brands that inspire you outside of running? And if there are, maybe why are they inspirational to you?
Uh, yeah. I mean, there's brands that I like following outside of running, and I wouldn't say like they directly inspire any sort of designs or anything like that, but there's like a wide range. Like growing up, I mean, I still kind of am into cars, but growing up, I was like very into I mean, I went to school for mechanical engineering, and before that, I was very into like, yeah, cars and engines and design and all sorts of automotive stuff. Yeah, I mean, like Koenigsegg is like a super high performance car company that they make really beautiful YouTube videos on like their design process and manufacturing process, and everybody should go watch them because they're very beautiful. They're just like design ethos is really inspirational. And then like on a very different end of the spectrum, another podcast that everybody should listen to is Acquired. It's like kind of more of an audiobook.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's more of like an
Great.
audiobook about
My
the
husband's
background
listened
of
to every one
yeah.
of them at this
Yeah,
point
they're
in
great.
time.
But one of the podcasts or one of the episodes was on IKEA, which I mean, everybody has their thoughts on the quality of IKEA furniture, but just their like design ethos and their like absolute, I don't know, they're like strict or I don't know, strict. I don't know what the right word here is, but like their endless pursuit of making things as affordable as possible. And like
Mhm.
theoretically still keeping them quality. People can disagree on that, but that's fine. But they're like endless pursuit of making things as affordable as possible and coming up with new methods to make things. And like there's a table, a bedside table that they have made for like 100 years and have never raised the price on it. Like it was $10 when they launched it, and it's still $10. And the only way they've been able to do that is just like innovate on their manufacturing methods and innovate on their scale and all the stuff. So yeah, it's like a inspiring thing to me. Not that I want to become IKEA, but yeah. So I think those are like very different ends of the spectrum. One's like incredibly expensive cars that I will never achieve, but the design philosophy behind it is inspirational, and then the like, yeah, business philosophy behind IKEA is also quite inspirational.
I like that a lot. I actually, yeah, I think that I mean, the IKEA piece, I think IKEA is so unique in that they have been able to maintain, like, there are pieces from IKEA that, from a design standpoint, people are like, "Oh," like, you could put that in a multi-million-dollar house and like, it fits and it has that same design aesthetic, even though it is inexpensive to necessarily to own. So I think they kind of strike that balance of like not cheapening themselves while, maintaining low
Yeah,
prices, which is
yeah,
really hard to do and really unique. But
yeah,
as long as you have the elbow grease to spend the time to put it together and you're
yeah, yeah,
you're covered,
exactly, exactly.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Um, and then I think my other question was just kind of like, what do you feel like success looks like for you? Like, you may not want to, scale this thing massively. You may not, what is it? I guess, do you feel like it's successful at this point? And then what is just kind of future success look like for you?
uh, yeah. I do feel like it is successful at this point, whatever that really means. Like I mean, yeah, I started this thing uh, 17 months ago or something. And it's like grown beyond what I could have ever imagined and has, people keep showing up to the website. More people keep showing up to the website. People keep buying things. I keep getting to make new products, keep getting to order bigger orders. Like I'm moving to a large warehousey space next month. And yeah, it's just like it seems to be like just gaining traction kind of on its own, honestly. And I just like keep the wheels on the tracks behind the scenes or whatever the saying is, and it just keeps happening. So I do, yeah, yeah. It's like again, I didn't set out with any goals or visions or whatever, but I do think it's been super successful so far. As far as like what my goals or success means or in the future, like yeah, what a successful Terignota would mean in 5 years or something like that. I don't have a great answer for it, and I've been asked this question like a bunch of times of like, where do you see Terignota going? What are your goals for Terignota? And like again, I don't know. Like I didn't. It's just like continuing the experiment of seeing this if this will work and like continuing to create and like yeah just see what it can do and like I'm just excited about like making the next product and I'm excited about like making pieces of art to put on the internet and I'm excited to like be part of the running community. it if I it's like I guess success in the future would just be like being able to keep doing what I'm doing and hopefully that grows. But I like am pretty psyched on what I'm doing now. So I don't know if there needs to be any end goal. Yeah.
Well, what's clear to me, Alex, is that you are a very hardworking person because, to be able to grow even just the way that you have thus far, and I don't know if you mentioned Corinne, but Alex, you're kind of famous for putting out all of the financial information about your company, how many orders you've filled, how much each piece individually costs, where all the money for the entire company is going. And I've heard you say, like, I'm kind of doing this to keep myself accountable too. Like,
Yeah.
I would like to make sure that, like, I can look myself in the mirror and say, yes, I'm happy about a decision that I spent this money here or did this here or did whatever. But what's clear to me is that you're a very hardworking person to put like all of those things in the background. You are, making the business run. You're getting orders out every single day. You're doing all of those little things. But it sounds to me like your real passion is in the design side. So my question for you is, you know, first of all, it sounds like to me like you still have space in your life for the design stuff that is filling your passion. What's the first thing in the business that you would want to, hand off to somebody else if you were to have some help with the business and it scaled to that level of like, okay, I I what point would that be? And then what would those things be that you would want to hand off?
Yeah, totally. I don't think it's very far away. I don't think the business is very far away from being able to hire somebody to hand off some things to. And like the first, just like very obvious thing is just packing and shipping orders. Like Mondays, I spend all day packing and shipping orders, um, except for right now. Yeah, normally like Mondays, I was just like getting caught up from the weekend, packing and shipping orders, responding to people's emails. Yeah, doing
Do
like
you
the
dream about what your life would look like having lived this now the past 17 months if you weren't the one packing and shipping the orders?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and there's been like days where I don't know, for whatever reason, like I mean, I've shipped orders like nearly every day since I started this, but there's been like just a day where I'm like, I don't know, whatever, I'm not going to ship orders today. And it's like amazing how much I can get done in a day where I just don't ship orders. Like I'm just like, wow, like I can just check so many things off my list that yeah. Because, like, I mean, I don't even put shipping orders on my list because it's just something I have to do every day. So I don't get to check it off my list. So if, like, and normally the like responding to customer service emails and shipping orders, like, takes up I mean, not, yeah, a few hours every day. And it's just, and another part of that is that I am, like, in the office I'm in now is like on a well, I've expanded to 4 rooms in this building, but it has like on this it's the second and third floor of this building and I don't there's no parking here, whatever. So like every day I like pack all the orders here, bike home, get the truck, drive the truck here, bring the orders down, drive to the post office, take the truck back to the house, bike back here. So it's just like a very, very inefficient process. And like moving is something that'll help that a lot. Along with hiring somebody to handle that. And yeah, I mean, there's like so many ways to go from here. I could just like offload it all onto a 3PL or like a third party logistics person. And I've like went down that path a little bit to see what that would take. And it's just like, I just really like having control of the products and the exchanges and like being accountable for like how quickly things get out. And I don't want to be like, oh, somebody needs their order for a race. I'm going to ship that out just like right now and just go to the post office and like if it was a 3PL, I would have to like email them and like, yeah, we'll get to it, whatever. And like a week later, it would never show up. So, um, yeah, I want to like keep it all in house, but am very excited to not do that myself.
Yeah, it sounds like a tricky spot because part of the way the community is that has supported your brand is they know that they're supporting you. And when they get the comment from you, it's like there's that immediate connection. But right there, there's a scale ceiling that's you. I mean, there's only so much Alex to go around in the day. So
Yeah.
I'm sure that that's very hard. And I'm sure that's something that you're thinking about as the appetite for your brand increases. And without a plan, it'll probably could just continue to increase unless you are purposeful with deciding to cap it at a certain level or hire additional support. And I'm sure that's an exciting part of the business to be in right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like nerve wracking, obviously, to think about hiring somebody and paying somebody and whatever, but also just like a thing you have to do if you want to grow and continue. So, yeah, very exciting.
Okay, we have like 3 rapid fire questions, but before I ask those, I have to ask one more around the marketing piece because, I think we've learned that your philosophy is don't spend money on unnecessary things, especially for marketing's sake, if that drives the cost of the products higher. But how do you think about that in terms of also appropriately being integrated into the community? So I've heard you talk about like some cool marketing things where the money goes to an athlete, but it is important. I think we've seen this within our sport. It's important for brands to show up in the community in certain ways to
Hmm.
show and to be an example of caring about the demographic and the sport itself. So do you have thoughts on like what that will look like for Terignota, or what you think makes the most impact from a integration into the trail running community standpoint?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there are like so many ways to go with this question. I think that the first thing I'll say is that like I hope that Terignota itself is a net positive to trail running. Like, I hope that offering quality gear at affordable prices is just by manner of doing that a benefit to trail running. And I like fully am behind supporting people in their passions to do whatever it is they want to do at a high level. And I'm fully behind supporting races who align with, yeah, the trail community, my personal values. So I hope that, and we've done a little bit of it, of like putting quote unquote marketing dollars directly to athletes, whether it's like, we did a little marketing thing where it's like give the first person to win a daybreak race $500 or whatever, which was like a fun little marketing, I don't know what you call it, thing. And, we could have gave Meta $500, but I don't know, like, what's the point? So it was nice to like keep it in the
We were,
community, and like you had to be wearing Terignota. Yeah. So of course. Yeah. Yeah.
but then you got a stack of, I think it was a stack of cash. Was it ones?
Yeah. And then you got a stack of cash, stack of ones.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so, like, things like that, we did a hat partnership with Abigail West where we were
Yeah.
able to give her, like, $2,500 in the end, and for obviously, she did amazing art for the hat, but, like, it was art she had done already and just, like, quickly retrofitted it to the hat, so, like, a nice chunk of change for,
Yeah.
yeah, doing another collaboration with Women of the Wasatch, so, like, feels good to give back to them. We have a little donation thing on our website where we've accumulated, I don't know, $3,000 or something that to donate to Tread, which is a organization that's promoting trail building and community connection here locally. And so, yeah, I don't wanna, I don't wanna be like, no, we're never going to support athletes, or we're never going to sponsor races or anything like that. Cause, I hope that we can find a way to creatively do that without necessarily making our prices go up. So I hope, yeah, to get more creative in that way in the future. But I like really do think or hope or idealize, at least in my mind, that, yeah, simply providing the gear, like, is support in itself. Like, hopefully we are like, I don't know, if you look at it, like, hopefully we're saving, instead of like paying one person, whatever, $100,000 a year to go race at the highest level, which that's great. I'm in support of that too, but that's just not what we can offer right now. So instead of doing that, hopefully we can save every person in trail running $60 every time they buy a pair of shorts. Like, that seems pretty good to me too. So
It's kind of a different way of supporting the, yeah, just through
yeah.
the value that the product brings, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Situation. Okay, we're gonna ask a couple quick rapid fire just to wrap it up here. But thanks for taking the time. It's really cool to
Yeah, of
learn
course.
more. Thanks for creating Terignota. I mean, the products are
Yeah.
awesome, and yeah, I think it's really exciting to see it growing and being adopted by the community the way it has. Okay, so number one is what's your favorite trail race?
Oh, favorite trail race. These are supposed to be rapid fire, but I'm gonna say the Leavenworth Trail Fest, and everybody should come do it. Um,
And I think you are maybe one of the only other people who I've ever heard say they grew up in a school that was maybe smaller than the school I grew up in.
yeah, well,
Because
I
we
grew up
had
in Trout Lake, which is even smaller than Leavenworth, but yeah,
so you said you guys had like 170 in the whole K through 12 or something?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I think we had like 200, so
yeah. Well,
tiny,
got you beat there,
tiny, tiny. Yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah, Leavenworth Trail Fest. Come do it. It's cool trails, good organization. It's like relatively affordable, although it's like kind of hard to get to Leavenworth. But yeah,
Who puts
it's
it
cool.
on?
Vert something. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
They put on like the North Bend Trail Fest, or yeah, they put on a few
Okay.
more verdy mountainous races around the Northwest. Sorry, I can't remember
Northwest
their name
Race
now.
Org. Okay.
Yeah,
we'll put it in
Cool.
the notes.
yeah,
Okay, what's your favorite piece of gear, not a piece of Terragnota gear?
yeah. I love shoes, and I think, yeah, I'm big. My girlfriend Jenny works for Better Trail, who they do gear reviews, and I have very fortunately been recruited, to test shoes for them, which is like a really great opportunity for me. So I don't have to spend a bazillion dollars on all these nice shoes. I've only tested trail shoes for them, but I'm actually gonna say my favorite piece of non-Terignota running gear and trail running gear is the New Balance Elite, New Balance Super Comp Elite V4s, which you can't really actually buy anymore because now they're on the V5s, which they really downgraded from the V4s. But in my opinion, the New Balance, they have a long name. The New Balance Elite V4s are like the best trail running shoe. It's a road super shoe, but they're the best road super shoe for the trails you can buy.
Cool.
There it is. Yeah.
Okay.
They will be the shoe I'm wearing at Big Alta 100K.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Two more. What's the best run of your life?
Best run of my life. Okay. Um uh I have no idea what the best run of my life was, but I'll give you a run that I did recently that was just like so um eh, great and enjoyable, and like the run itself is like what entices me about running. So recently I like did a run from Kashmir, which is like 15 minutes down the road, to Wenatchee, and I like drove to Kashmir and then parked my truck at the bus stop and then ran like up and over this like ridge line, and it was an inversion. So, you're in this like snowy, frosty clouds, and then I popped out of it like up the ridge line, popped out of the clouds into this like beautiful, dry, sun, warm day. And like nobody was up there. You feel like you're in a whole different world, and ran up to the top of something. I don't know the name of it. And just was like having the most joyful, lovely day. And it was like a ridge that I hadn't ever been on before, and like a local place that I just, didn't even know existed. And then like went and ran there and was like I was like, wow, this is the most beautiful ridgeline. Why have I never been here before? And then, came down into Wenatchee, hopped on a bus. There's like free buses that go here, hopped on a bus, took the bus back to Kashmir, and like just adventures like that where I don't know, just finding new places, whether it's somewhere far away and grand, but even more so just like new local places that are incredibly beautiful and like, yeah, get you. It didn't even really matter about the run, honestly. I mean, it was a great run, but just like the emotions that I felt when I like popped into the sun and was just like in this new world of warmth and happiness. Yeah, it was great, and, like, getting to
Well,
use getting to,
this
like,
sounds like a solo adventure. I do need the
yeah.
stats. How far is it from these 2 places that you went? And
Yeah,
do you remember how much vertical gain you
I
had?
was pretty proud of my performance on that run. It was 31 miles or something and 6,000 something feet, and, um, of vert, and it was like, yeah, it yeah, it was a good run. I did it in, like, 4.5 hours or something like that, 4 hours 15, and,
Yes, that's
um
what I wanted to hear.
yeah,
Okay.
it was great.
Quick little 50K with a bunch of climbing. Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. Last one. Can you think of one brand that you think deserves more attention than it's currently getting?
Yeah, I was actually talking about this recently, and not on a podcast, don't worry. Uh, I I think that recently Solomon has been getting a lot of flack for like, uh, uh, I don't know, dropping a bunch of US athletes and not having the greatest shoe lineup lately. And um, I don't know. I feel like Solomon's just been getting thrown under the bus a lot, and I would love to jump on that train of throwing Solomon under the bus. But and there's I think it's really important to acknowledge that like Solomon did so much to build trail running and like build the current technology of shoes. And yeah, like uh I think people see like the new Brooks Cascadia Elite thing, and like, I mean, Solomon doesn't have a trail shoe with a Piba midsole, but they did that first. Like they had like this shoe with a beautiful upper and a little sock like gator thing and like a perfect foothold, and at least in my opinion. And like, yes, they forgot to put nice foam on the midsole, but like they made and they like made beautiful Solomon TV episodes that like inspired so many of us to get into trail running. And like, yes, they haven't taken the most, I don't know, maybe they've made some missteps lately, but I think they're still like a very, they're a brand that has been getting a lot of thumbs down lately when I think we should appreciate the amount they've provided to trail running. And like, yeah,
Got mine. Got my
exactly. Yeah.
beef presses on right now. It's all I would, except they need to bring back the S-Lab Ultra 3 because it's not currently on sale on the website and it's my current race shoe. And so I need them to bring it back.
Yeah, I mean, they've done some missteps like that. I won't take that away, but yeah, I don't know. They
Corinne's a big Solomon fan.
yeah, yeah. I
I
mean,
went to
Solomon
the
was the
Acme way back in the day. I know that you worked with, yeah, you worked with them for a year or
yeah,
two. And I mean, that could be a whole other podcast of talking about kind of the, I've worked in this space a little bit too, and the brand relationships and the brand athlete relationships. It's a whole other topic, but I think you're right. They have, done a lot of foundational work and propped up the sport in some big ways, despite all the little things that
yeah,
maybe we get annoyed with. So I agree.
yeah,
Yeah.
Well, and think about vest design. Most
yeah,
vest design is sort of based off the S Lab. There, not a lot of vest design is based off of the Ultimate Direction vests.
right. And like everybody knows, aside from the Terignota Valhalla vest, everybody knows that Solomon makes the best vest. Like, yeah, and
The
that
Valhalla vest
people are
looks awesome.
yes,
I
yeah.
love the all white, man. That is
It's the
I
way
I'm
to
mean,
go.
rocking right
I'll
there.
say that that vest was like, I mean, not all of it by any means, but like the vertical zipper in the back. It was like a lot of it was modeled from old the old S Lab Sense 10 or something. Like,
Yep.
Mhm.
yeah, we all take design cues from the past, and like so many companies have taken design cues from Solomon, and I don't know. Then yeah, they don't give them credit, and they should give them credit.
But I appreciate that you put all the parts of the various Solomon vests together
Yeah,
that
I mean, I took some design cues from the North Face. The the like flask pocket in the back, the like
yeah.
horizontal flask pocket is like very similar to the North Face vest. The zippered pockets in the front again were like the OG Solomon vest had like nice zippered pockets. The like one little stash pocket on the left is like a taken design cue from the On vest.
Mhm.
I mean the front closure is like fairly new. Hopefully that can be like my unique ad, but yeah, it's like everybody yeah, everybody's building off everybody else, and like I don't know.
Yep.
You
What's
should give
different
credit
about the
where
front?
credit's due.
Now I gotta know this. What's different about the
The
closure?
closure.
Yeah, the closure system is like completely different than anybody's vest. I like all vests have like those little daisy chain attachments on them, which maybe 1 or 0% of people ever use or change the
Or
points
move. Yeah.
or move. That's what I mean, move. So like, why do you have all of this extra cord there? So I got rid of all those, the and then I like really hate when there's like danglies
Mhm.
that like bounce around while you run. Like the Solomon vest is great, but it still has a long dangly that bounces around
You gotta
um,
tuck into the pocket and zip
on the middle
up.
thing. You got to tuck in the middle thing or tuck in the pocket, and it like comes out, and then you get gels out and whatever. Like it just is not great. Yes, exactly. A long dangly thing.
They
So
even give you
I,
a bunch of extra danglies that you don't know
I
what to
know.
do.
Yeah, and then like there's like one spot you like the vest, and sure you maybe adjust it, but almost never adjust it. So I like just wanted to completely simplify the front thing. So I took away all the adjustment points and just like put them where they should go because that's where they should go. And like lowered the bottom one to like nearly the bottom of the vest. So because a lot of times like the top is secure, but the bottom like hits my rib cage and like kind
Mhm.
of bruises my rib cage. So I didn't like that. And then on the Solomon vest, there's like 2 points on one side and 1 point on the other. And then, vice versa on the bottom. And like the more points you can have connected to the edge of the vest, the more secure the vest is. So I had like 2 points on both sides to
Mm.
distribute the load better. And then the danglies, I like put inside. I made like a tunnel where the dangly goes inside, and then it loops back into the pockets. But like when you open the pockets, that doesn't get in the way. So there's zero danglies. Everything that's like unnecessary is gotten rid of, and the bungees are really thick, so you never have to adjust the tension of it. Yeah,
Cool. Man. All right. Got to go order one now.
yeah, give it a shot.
It's all white though, so it's really I'm never gonna be able to tell people I didn't fall on the trail
That's
because
true.
my vest is
We're
gonna just
I'm
tell the
yeah,
story every
yeah,
single time.
yeah. We're working on it. We're working on it.
All right. Stay
Yeah,
safe.
No, it's fine. That's the thing, I guess. The Norda and the Mount Coast shoes, like they're not meant to stay white, perfect, clean the whole time. It's meant to tell a story. So
yeah,
I guess the story is going to be I fell a lot.
yeah.
And
That's
everybody wants a
fine.
white vest. So, you know,
Yeah,
you got the white vest. Awesome.
yeah.
Well, thanks, Alice, for joining us. It was really great to learn more about Terignota. There's exciting things to come, and yeah, we're big fans and wishing for the best for you, and hope to check in and don't forget us when you go. Huge.
Oh, yeah, no, I will not. Thanks for having me on. I, like, yeah, really enjoyed this one, so appreciate
Good.
it.
Thanks.